Welcome to Adding Dollars. In this video, I'll be going over my weekly update on the highest volatility stocks, so stocks that are paying the highest premiums for covered calls and cash secured puts. Before jumping into this week's scan, if you're new to cash secured puts and covered calls, make sure to check out the videos in the description. Now let's go ahead and jump right into this week's high volatility scan. As always, I'm in the Thinkorswim platform and I'm going to be on the scan tab. And I'm going to be scanning the S&P 500, so let me go ahead and switch to that and then click scan. And now we have a list of all of the stocks in the S&P 500 sorted by implied volatility, so the highest implied volatility at the top and then descending from there. So at the top of the list right now we have VF Corp, and it looks like it has earnings coming up on May 22nd. And this is also after hours data, so some of this may change when this video comes out or when the market is open. Looks like VF Corp is currently trading at about $12.73 and currently has an implied volatility of about 79%. Let's go ahead and jump over to the trade tab so we can see what kind of premiums VF Corp is paying out. And I'm going to be looking at the 7 days out option, so the option's expiring next Friday. Let's wait for this to load really quick. And as always, I have this custom column on my Thinkorswim platform that I've called percent premium. It quickly calculates the percentage profit for selling a cash secured put at a specific strike price and also gives you an estimate on the covered call side as well. If you're interested in adding this to your own platform, check out the link in the description where I have free instructions on how you can add this to your own platform. Now let's go ahead and start by looking at cash secured puts. It looks like you can make about 0.81% selling the $10.50 cash secured put, which means you would collect somewhere between $1 and $16. Usually it ends up being somewhere in between, like the halfway point. I think because this is after hours data, it looks like the spread is pretty large. But for this, you could probably end up collecting about $7 or $8 or close to 0.81% for selling this cash secured put. Your risk here is if you did end up getting assigned, you would be obligated to buy 100 shares of the stock for every cash secured put that you sell. So in this case, you would need about $1,050 in order to buy those 100 shares. On the covered call side, you could currently buy 100 shares right now for $1,273, and then you could go ahead and sell the $13 call options and collect about $19 in premium for each call option that you sell, or about 1.58% in just 7 days. Let's jump back to the scan tab and look at a couple more. Let's go ahead and look at Palo Alto Networks, one that I don't think we've looked at before. Looks like it has earnings coming up pretty soon as well on May 20th. And it's trading at about $295.67, so definitely a more expensive stock, and current implied volatility is about 57%. Let's go ahead and jump back to the trade tab and see what kind of premiums it's currently paying. I'm going to go ahead and start with cash secured puts again. It looks like you can make about 0.94% selling the $290 cash secured put that expires next Friday. This means you would collect some amount of premium, probably between $248 and $296. Usually it's somewhere in the halfway point. And the risk here is if you did end up getting assigned on this position, you would need $29,000 in order to purchase the 100 shares if you sold one cash secured put and ended up getting assigned. On the covered call side, you could buy 100 shares right now for $29,567, and then you could go ahead and sell the $297.50 call option and collect about $450 in premium, or about 1.55%. So that was kind of a similar percentage to the other trade, which was, I think, about 1.58%. Let's jump back to the scan tab and look at one more stock. Let's go ahead and look at Lululemon. This is one we haven't looked at in a while and definitely an even more expensive stock. Looks like it has earnings coming up on May 30th. Currently trading at about $352.95 with an implied volatility of about 48%. And jumping back to the trade tab so we can look at the premiums. starting with cash secured puts, looks like you could make 0.81% selling the $347.50 cash secured put, which means you would collect a premium somewhere between $258 and $300. And the risk here is significantly larger than the other stocks we looked at. If you did end up getting assigned, you would need $34,750 in order to purchase 100 shares, since this is a more expensive stock. On the covered call side, you could buy 100 shares right now for $35,295, and then you could go ahead and sell the $355 call option and collect about $455, or about 1.33% in 7 days. Jumping back to the scan tab, feel free to pause the video and take a look at the full list of S&P 500 stocks sorted by highest implied volatility at the top and then descending from there. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below and I'll make sure to answer them. And if you want to help support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.